Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 26 of Millionaire Mindset Mornings, where every morning in the month of September, I have been coming to you live at 8 a.m. to share with you some tips and strategies to help you in your business or your side hustle. We are in week 4. Week 4, we have been focusing on the inner millionaire, and the main focus of that is not so much on how much money you have in your bank account or what your bank account balance is. It is focusing on you, making sure that when you obtain the wealth, that you can sustain and maintain the wealth. And all throughout this week, I have been reiterating that it's not about the commas in your checks that you get in your business, but it's more so about the confidence in your chest, the kind of confidence you need to have and exude if you want to be a millionaire, okay? Because your inner world will often reflect your outer world, okay? So, your outer world will often reflect your inner world. I said it backwards. So that is what we have been focusing on this week. But today's topic that we are going to do is called the disciplined dividend. How discipline pays you immensely. I'm going to put the topic on the screen for us because I've been trying to do that so y'all know what each topic of the day is. So it's the disciplined dividend. Let me put that up. And we are going to dive into it. Usually I will share 3 points with you, and I will have a millionaire mindset step for you to take really quick. I'm going to do my social media checks to make sure we are good on all ends. Looks like we are. Let me check one other spot though, and then we're going to get into it. So the discipline dividend, because motivation is cute, but discipline pays way more in dividends, okay? And everybody loves the idea of getting paid, but if you are not disciplined, discipline will take you a lot further than laziness ever will, okay? You can't be lazy in your business or your side hustle or just be waiting for things to happen. And oftentimes what discipline looks like, it looks very boring, okay? So it's the mundane stuff. But even though it's boring and mundane, it will help you to generate cash for tomorrow and help you create freedom in your business, okay? So if you've been wondering why your bank account, when it comes to your business, finances, or even in your personal life, why it feels empty, it might be you are not making enough deposits in discipline, okay? And maybe you are making more withdrawals in terms of excuses. So make sure you are actually depositing discipline, okay? All right. And that's why today we're talking about the discipline dividend, okay? This is the hidden paycheck that comes from you having self-control, you being consistent, and you being committed to what you set out to do, okay? The freedom you want for tomorrow is built by the discipline that you put in and you choose to do today. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the 3 points for you. The first point I have is, we talked about this too earlier in the series. Motivation fades, but discipline is what sustains. So let me put that on the screen. Point 1, motivation fades, but discipline sustains. Make sure I spell everything right. All right, because motivation is just a mood. Motivation is only temporary. Motivation is only going to get you so far, okay? But discipline, that is the muscle that you keep building when you put the work in, okay? So that's why I told you earlier, discipline, sometimes it looks boring. It's the everyday stuff that you keep doing over and over and over and over again, that routine thing that you keep doing, that is what is building you, you're building that muscle to help take you to the next level. Because when you're not motivated, when you aren't feeling encouraged, because you got that muscle memory from the discipline that you put in, you're just automatically going to do it. Like when you wake up in the morning, you make up your bed or whatever. Nobody, you might not feel motivated to make up your bed. You might be having a bad day or a bad morning or whatever, but you still make up the bed. Why? Because that discipline is already instilled in you. It's part of the mundane. It's part of the routine and everything. So you do it. Okay. So if you want to become a millionaire or you want to make millions in your business, then you're going to have to make millionaire moves even when the motivation is not there. Okay, so you got to make sure you're showing up despite your feelings, despite how you feel. Okay, um put the work in. All right, because motivation, it is going to fade away every day. You're not going to feel motivated to do things, but you still need to be disciplined enough to do what you need to do in your business, in your side hustle, so it can grow and so you can take it to the next level. So your motivation is going to fade, but your discipline is what's going to sustain you and maintain you and take you to the next level. All right, so let's move on to point number 2. Consistency helps build currency. Okay, when you are consistent, that is going to compound like interest. That is like interest in your bank account, so to speak. So let me put point number 2 up. Consistency builds currency. All right, let me put it on the same screen. So when you start creating those habits, like we talked about, when you start doing the things that you're supposed to do on an everyday basis, that's what helps build consistency. You can't do one thing this day, something else another day, then bounce back to it. You got to have consistent habits, okay? You got to show consistency. And when you start building that consistency and you have that routine, then things are going to start changing in your business, okay? You can even be mediocre in your business, but the fact that you are consistent, the fact that you keep showing up, the fact that you keep doing things that you're supposed to do, your consistency will beat a lazy genius any day, okay? Because here's the thing with someone who is a genius but who is lazy. Nobody knows that they're a genius. Nobody knows that they're necessarily brilliant because they're not showing up. They are not putting the work in. They are not doing what they're supposed to do. So if you have been saying, well, I know I'm smarter than this person, or I know I'm more talented than this person, maybe you are, but are you showing up like you're supposed to? Or are you being lazy? Okay. Because the consistency, somebody who's mediocre, because they're just consistent and showing up, they will be a lazy genius because we can't see the genius. Okay, we don't know that you have genius in you. Okay, I've also shared you can't be the best kept secret. Okay, you got to make sure that you are showing up, promoting yourself, promoting your business, getting out there, letting people know how your business, how your product, how your service can benefit them. And that comes from building consistency. And when you start showing up consistency, eventually that will translate into you making profits in your business and you making money in your business. Okay, so that was point number 2. Point number 3 is that discipline will help protect your peace. Okay, so I'm going to put that on the screen for you and then we're going to dive into it. Point 3, discipline protects your peace. Because when you are disciplined, that helps to reduce chaos for you. When you're disciplined, that helps to paint a clear picture of what your priorities are, what you need to focus on. It just brings things to the forefront that you need to focus on, okay? And when you do that, it helps for you to have a peaceful situation in your business. It helps you to know, okay, these are my weaknesses, these are my strengths, this is what we need to improve on, okay? And when you know that, then things are not chaotic, then you're not scrambling, then you're not trying to put out fires or figure out things at the last minute. That discipline helps protect your peace. If you know, we always do X, Y, and Z. This is what we do on Monday. This is what we do on Tuesday. This is what I do on Wednesday. Okay. And you stay accountable to those things, then you realize, oh, this is what happened and this caused this to go awry or whatever. So let me see what I need to do to bring it back. But when you're disciplined, it helps protect your peace because if something does get out of order, you know immediately what you need to do. Okay. And remember, your freedom flows from discipline, not the other way around. Okay. I'm going to say that again. Freedom flows from discipline. Discipline does not flow from freedom, okay? Because some of us have way too much freedom in our business, and because of that, we are not disciplined, okay? So just know, discipline flows from freedom. I'm about to say it wrong. Freedom flows from discipline, okay, and not the other way around. All right, so that is our 3 points for today, as we talked about the discipline dividend. How if you are going to be disciplined in your business, it's going to pay you many times over. The first point I made was that motivation fades, but your discipline is what's going to sustain you. The second point was consistency builds currency. When you're consistent in your business and you're showing up and doing the things that you're supposed to do, that's when your profits start flowing in, your currency starts flowing in. And the third point was discipline helps protect your peace. Okay. When you know what's going on in your business, things are not crazy and chaotic, then, and because you have a disciplined routine or a disciplined way of handling stuff, then you will have a more peaceful business. Okay. All right. So those were the 3 points. Now I am going to share with you your millionaire mindset action step that I would like for you to take. The first thing, the thing I want you to do is I want you to choose one area where you've been just waiting for motivation to show up in your business, your side hustle, maybe even in your personal life. Okay. So choose one area where you've been waiting for motivation to show up. Like, I just don't feel motivated, or I don't have the motivation, or I just don't feel like doing it. Don't think back on those times where you might have said that. And instead, I want you to commit to discipline action today. Commit to taking discipline action about that area, about that thing you've been putting off. Commit to it today and take one discipline action to achieving that. Okay. All right. Now, if you are choosing consistency over comfort, if you are ready to be disciplined in your business or your side hustle, I want you to put into the chat discipline for me. So I will know that you are ready to take things to the next level. Okay. All right. So motivation is only the spark. Motivation is like an engine getting, the spark that gets the engine going, but discipline is the fire that never dies and will keep you going. So make sure you are building that discipline, because it will literally pay you in dividends. All right. Remember to like, subscribe, share with someone who you think can benefit from this, and be sure to come back tomorrow, because I'm doing this every morning in September at 8 a.m. We only got a few more days, y'all, a few more days. But tomorrow, day 27, we are going to be focusing on vision over validation, because your vision will take you to places the crowd can't clap you into. Like, nobody can boost you into these places, because you have the vision. Okay, your vision will take you to places where the crowd cannot clap you into. They can't hype you up into it. Okay, because when you know where you're going, you can walk in there without the need for any applause. All right. So we're going to be diving deep into that tomorrow. So please be sure to tune in. And on tomorrow's Saturday, I got a big announcement for y'all. Big announcement. I'm finally going to announce what I have been working on. So definitely tune in on tomorrow. All right. That's all I have. Have a wonderful Friday, you guys. Take care, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.